Hi, and thanks for joining us today on our YouTube channel, Agile Nonprofits. I'm Megan Shane, Marketing and Training Coordinator for Agile Nonprofits and DHR Consulting. I'm so excited to join you today to walk you through some of the tools that our team has used in the past, currently using, and are looking forward to learning in the future. So let me go ahead and share my screen to walk you through physically through these tools. So I'll start today with our Miro board. This is a tool that our team uses currently. We love this tool because it is a completely clear whiteboard. You start out by creating your board and it is fully white. And you use your creativity to create what you want your board to look like. So here you'll see that we have our backlog, which is where all of our team's upcoming events, great ideas from our product owner, Scrum Master, and team members go. And we broke it down into each week. So each row is 1 week. The red blocks are what we would call our epics, or our large idea, or what we would consider our collaborated partners. And then under each of those would be, each week, we would have a section for any of the upcoming events coming up, any details that we need to come up with or create, our typical weekly tasks such as like social media scheduling, any trainings. We'd always do a follow-up Friday, so that becomes a card in here. We also come down to our template area, which is where we have our sprint board, our retrospective board. This is going to be our reference stories for when you're estimating. It's always a great idea to keep a reference story. So each week you don't have to estimate the same story. You can easily just grab from the reference library. And then our keys, of course, because our team breaks each post. Our team actually does color coding. So our pink would be our training. The yellow would be our generic tasks that we do on the daily basis. And our blue is our Agile nonprofits. But of course, it's whatever works for you and your team. That's what's so great about a clear whiteboard. It's what you create to work for you in your organization. We also then have, of course, our Kaizen library. I'm not going to scroll in on these because maybe you'll laugh at what we think is more important. But it's great to have a Kaizen library. That way, of course, if there's a week that you don't come up with a Kaizen, you can always grab from here and continue working on your team's happiness. And then, of course, we have our sprint board. We do 1 week sprints. So this is our week sprint. We have your typical to do, doing. We have an in review, just in case one of our team members needs something looked over. We can bring it over to this row, and then myself, Diane, or one of the other team members know that it's something that needs to be peeked at. And then you can, of course, leave comments on any of the post-its that help us communicate much better. And then, of course, your done column. Our team uses cards. So in this whiteboard, you can create a post-it, which is very simple. Or you can create a card that's a little bit more in depth. In these, you can create a tag, which then our team members know that this is my card that I would be working on. You can also tag, and you can insert a link. Select a date that it's due, and then of course, if you come in here, you can type in, and this, of course, you want to do your definition of done and acceptance criteria, and any notes underneath that may be helpful for that task. That way you don't forget. Where this one is just your simple post-it. You can still add, insert a link, create a tag, and you can always, of course, vote There's so many different ways to make this your own, especially by changing the font, the shape of it, of course. And so many more things. So that's going to be our Miro board. As you can see, we've used it for quite a while. This is year 2 of using it, but we very, very much enjoy this tool because of how versatile and creative you can be in it. Moving on, of course, I'm sure you've heard of the Trello board. This is going to be your simple to do, doing, and done. As you can see, we've created a board for these kinds of trainings, and also so our team understands what your organization might be working with, so we can help you to the best of our knowledge. We've created a reference library over here, a product backlog. This is a sprint 2 weeks out, 1 week out of a sprint, and then our final to do for this sprint. And then of course you can move these cards over to doing, in review, and done. These columns are fully customizable, and you can add as many as you would like, or as less as you would like. These cards are really awesome because they are very versatile in what you can add to them. You still have where you can add members, you can add labels to them, your due date, attachment, and a cover. So I like to get a little creative, and I added covers. So it was easy to know that this card meant for social media. But of course, you don't need to do that. You can also color code them. So I know that these red ones are specifically for DH Learner Consulting, where maybe the pink ones are for our upcoming trainings, and our blue ones are for Agile and nonprofits. That's just what works for our team. You can also use estimates in here. And moving on to ClickUp. ClickUp is actually one of my personal favorites. I'm a little biased. I use it on the daily, not just for our sprint, but for my own tracking of my own tasks. However, you can definitely use this for sprints. It's actually made to use as a Scrum board. So ClickUp helps you create different sprints under a folder. So each sprint you get to set as either a week, 2 week, 3 week, whatever works for your team. You then come in and create these tasks. It's very, very much like Trello. You can also add points. So your estimates can be used in here. Each training can have, or each card, sorry, can have a subtask. So if this training needs something done also, or is it additional, update. It can have an additional task created to it. You can also open these. You can have a full description, your subtasks. You can add a checklist, add attachments, have full conversations right in this one task bar or a task. You can add an assignee. You can set your priority if this is going to be an urgent matter where it needs to be done the very first time that your sprint starts, or if it's just like a normal or low, it could be at the bottom. You can share this, and you can also watch it. Setting due dates, and there's so much more that you can do. ClickUp is definitely something that might be a little overwhelming at first, but once you get the hang of it, which there's so many different trainings out there on YouTube to really understand this tool, it really fully works really well and in depth for you. And your whole team can be on here. You can also add views. So you can add a chat. So for any of you that use, let's say Slack, you can have this right in here. And anybody on this channel can see what you're talking about. And then you have notifications where a chat back to you will come up into your notification. So it's easy to navigate to. So you can see this as a list. So your in process, to do, your future. You can see it as the board that I was just showing. You can see it as a calendar. If you set due dates for all of your upcoming tasks, you'll be able to see them all right in here on each day. And you can also add tasks right from here. And there's so many different other views that you can see. All right, next up is Asana. I've heard lots of great things about Asana, and this tool is one of the tools that our team hasn't used very much. One day that I was pretty slow, out of curiosity, I did create a account. So I'm very excited to be able to play around in this a lot, but I have heard that it is very much like Trello and ClickUp, along with having that to do, doing and done, of course. And then you can add your sections right up at the top. And they're just cards that you move around. It does bring out this where you can have a little bit more in-depth description and discussions within that task. Not as in-depth as ClickUp as I'm seeing, but I could be wrong. Again, this is one of the tools that our team isn't as well-versed in, and I definitely can't wait to kind of play around in this tool. Next up, we have Mural. Mural is very similar to Miro with the infinite whiteboard. So when you do create a board, it will be white, and then you create these tools, or these sections, I'm sorry. So it's going to be very similar to your Mural. Post-its that you move. You can create your own retrospective. There's the Post-its that you can add right in. And there's so many other things that you can add. A lot of these tools, such as Mural and Miro, have already designed boards in here or templates in here that you can definitely go in and peek at and use if you don't feel as creative. This is what some of these were, is just simple templates that we grabbed out of here to create our own board. You can have a library of different templates that you create on your own. And you can attach files and bring those in. And there's so many other things that you can do right in this board. So these tools are really nice if you want to really be creative and create your own board. I do know with Mural, or Miro, I apologize, Miro, if you are typically in a office space that has a physical whiteboard and Post-its, you can download the app on your phone and take a photo of your whiteboard and Post-its, and it will then create that photo and bring it right into your Miro board and create Post-its that you can physically come in and move around on your whiteboard virtually instead of duplicating your work and creating new Post-its. You can just come in, take that picture, and it will load into your whiteboard. And last but not least, Jira. Our team used to use this. We don't use this anymore. If you're going to use something like this, it is very, very similar to Trello. And Trello, I feel very personally, is a little bit of a more user-friendly tool, where Jira has a lot more of that reporting. So if your organization likes all the different reports to track how quickly things are done, estimates, your burn up, burn down charts, big numerical reports, this is definitely a good tool for you because it does do all of that in the back end for you. So you don't have to physically do that, where a lot of these other tools do have you do it, such as Miro and Mural. You definitely have to physically go in and count your own points up. So that concludes our Agile tools that our team has played around with to use as the Scrum framework and track your work. They're great tools to collaborate with your team members if you are going to continue working remote, or even if you're coming back into the office. It's nice to be able to very quickly come into your computer and be able to work right on your whiteboard and have all of your other team members be able to see what you're doing and quickly converse with them right online. Please let us know if you have any questions or any tools that you have found work best for you in your organization and why, because we love tools and we love learning new things. Thank you so much for bearing with me and have a great day.